Could you show us that one?
Yeah, so 5 steps to start your flip. This is just outlines of kind of our lesson plans, but right here we got 5 steps to start your flip. Optimize. Did he go over like optimize drawing, line budget, design plan, all that stuff with you guys yet?
Samara, you want to chime in on this one?
Okay. All right, well, if no one has any questions, I think we can go into this to get some content in the call for the new students. And then if you guys have any specific questions about any deals you're working on or things like that, we can also touch on that as well. Cool.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm at work, so I'm not able to talk as much.
No, it's all good, Peter. Peter, if you have any questions, I have my Facebook Messenger on. So if anything comes up, you can just, type anything to me and I'll be able to see it.
I appreciate that. Will do.
Cool, man. Cool. So let's go over 5 steps to start your flip. It sounds like you guys haven't touched this topic yet, so we can go into that. Cool. So basically, from what I know on the last call, Mike said a good number of you guys have your flips either under contract or starting your flips. Samir, you're in the midst of like 20 flips, so you pretty much know what's going on at this point. There you go. You got it. Blue tape. Yup. But so when you guys are starting your flip, it's going to be really important for you to kind of set the game plan going forward, right? Because you don't want to get to a point in your flip where you don't know what's going on or you don't know what the next step is, because that's going to really put you in a bad position to kind of make the next move, right? All throughout your renovation, you want to be thinking of this as like a game of chess, right? You want to be thinking like 4 or 5 steps ahead on what's the next step to take, what's the next thing to do. And the best way to do that is through planning, right? So when we talk about the 5 steps to start your flip, there's really 5 key things you have to do in order to make sure you get your flip off on the right foot. So with that being said, the first thing you got to do is the optimized drawing. So there's a difference between a drawing and an optimized drawing, right? A drawing is just, you kind of just walk through the house, you get a layout, of what the current state of the house looks like. You take some walls out and stuff like that, and then you got a drawing, right? You got like a basic renovation plan. But what you'll notice is that, and actually I was walking through some houses a couple months ago. I was helping my brother find a house to buy. And I was walking through some houses, that were listed on the market, renovations. I walked through some of our flips, actually, showed them a couple of those. But the thing that you'll notice with a lot of these houses on the market is that a lot of them aren't really properly laid out correctly. So like, what I mean by that is when you walk into a house, there's a certain experience that you have as a first-time home buyer, right? That you want to evoke for the first-time home buyer when you're doing a flip. So things like that we talk about, right? Like the grand room, right? Having that living room, dining room, kitchen combo, having the master suite, like all that stuff being, immaculate, finished basement, all those things kind of add to that emotional experience when you get a buyer that's walking through your house about to buy your flip. So the distinction that I want to make here is that we want to start our flip with an optimized drawing, right? So optimized drawing basically means you've done everything you could possibly do to make your house layout as spectacular as possible. Now, what we've started to do recently with our flips is, we work with Tanya. Tanya's pretty much our new like acquisition person. She does like the layouts and stuff for our houses because she has a really good eye for these things. But what Tanya does and Mike do is basically we walk through the houses and we take, sometimes 3 or 4 trips back to the same house to create a really, really tight, optimized drawing. So, we'll have our project manager, Steve, walk through the house. We'll have Mike and Tanya walk through the house multiple times, sometimes spending 2 or 3 hours at a time on each visit, just making sure the house looks as good as possible on the drawing. Now, one of the things that you want to look for in your optimized drawing, right? So we want to optimize it by looking for the best possible layout, right? Best possible layout. We want to optimize for space. And we want to make sure our houses have, like I said, all the amenities that we can fit in. So like I said, make sure it has that grand room, that living room, dining room, kitchen combo in like the most optimal location, making sure it has a bomb, like spectacular master suite, because these are the emotional reactions that are going to cause buyers to not necessarily overpay, because your houses are worth what they're paying, but they're going to inspire them to offer the most amount of money they can on your houses. So when we talk about optimized drawing and getting your layouts right, it's a really important step. Like when you guys walk through your houses, these layouts should be like, if you want to like optimize for the best possible layout, it should be probably, a handful of trips back to the house, hours of reiterating on the layout, moving certain rooms, opening up other rooms, just creating the best possible space. So I can't really talk about it too much without getting into too specifics of like, an actual house layout, which I don't have on me right now, but that's the first step, right? Just making sure your layout drawing is optimized so that you kind of know the game plan going forward. The second step you want to do before you start your flip is your line item budget, right? Now, I know Mike talked to you guys about the desktop rental estimator and why it's important, why you need to use that to kind of make offers, quickly and kind of get in the running for making offers and buying deals. But the line item budget is really a tool that's used to help you specifically plan where every dollar is going in your rehab. So with the line item budget, you will probably end up having 40 to 50 line items on it by the time you're finished, like by the time you've planned out your whole rehab. But what you can then do from there is work according to your line item budget. So like, you'll plan out like demolition, X amount of dollars. I don't know, $1,500 to $2,000. And you'll have every like singular task on the budget. And we have the budget on the website as a template for you guys to use. I'm sure you guys have seen that and have access to that. But yeah, that's pretty much what the line item budget is in a nutshell. It's just having a line item for every task that's being done in the house. One of the things that a lot of people do ask about the line item budget is whether you'll have a group of items all grouped into one. So they'll say like, is it good to just have bathroom, 3,000? Or is it better to have bathroom, laying the towel, installing the vanity, like line item by line item, $200, $300, $400. It's definitely what we do in our system is we want to break down every single task as minute as possible. So installing the vanity, we want to have that as a line item for, labor and materials. We always want the materials price and we always want the labor price so that we can break our rehab down into simple steps that we can use later on in the rehab. So like if we have a new contractor that's coming on board and, we got to test this guy out. Maybe he says he lays tile and he's like pretty good, general handyman. We don't want to give him like, rehab the entire bathroom, install the vanities, lay the tile, like do all the above for $3,000, and then we'll see how it works. We really want to be able to break down our rehab into smaller bite tasks so that we can, one, kind of keep track of the money on a more detailed level. But two, we want to make sure that when we give these guys these jobs, we can test them out on smaller jobs and then say, depending on their progress on the smaller jobs, we'll see if they're ready for the bigger jobs. So we use the line item budget to create, the financial plan for our rehab, but we also use it to make sure, our contractors are getting things done on time and on budget, and to really test them out and make sure, they're worth working with in our system. So that's what the line item budget entails. Design plan. So design plan is similar to the optimized drawing. Design plan is basically, how you're going to design a house. I don't think I need to go into too much detail about that, but that's just another iteration upon the optimized drawing. So step D, hire the first 1 to 2 line items and do an on-the-job interview. So going back to what I mentioned about the line item budget, right? The line items that you want to have on your line item budget should be smaller jobs that kind of get a job started. So, like I said, if you're renovating the bathroom, doing the tile, laying the tile for, a few $100, that's a line item that you want to start for a contractor to do an on-the-job interview, right? You want to give these guys the smaller kind of, less risk-heavy jobs to see what they're worth and see, if they're up to the task of doing a renovation. And breaking down your line items like that into smaller bite-sized chunks with less on the line as far as, how much you're paying them and how much risk there is, if they do the work correctly or not, is going to really be able to mitigate risk in your rehab to kind of save you in the event that, the contractor doesn't work out. You didn't promise them a few $1,000 job. You just promised them a few $100 job. So you're not left kind of left without a paddle in the event that things don't work out. So step E says debrief results from your first experience and revise and repeat the last 2 steps. Right. So basically, once you kind of get things started with your line items, you get things going, you have your optimized drawing and work's getting done. You kind of want to collect results after every experience you have, right? So if you know that a contractor is no good, you kind of, you don't want to give that guy other work in the future. And in addition, if you know a guy's good at something, maybe you want to give them more work in the future. This is really about optimizing every step in the rehab process. So this 5 steps to start your flip, it's kind of a, at least plans D and E, steps D and E are more of a recurring sort of thing. So there's going to be multiple times in your rehab where you'll do on-the-job interviews with contractors and kind of see what they're about, as well as debriefing the results of what you've experienced and kind of going from there. But the whole, message of this lesson is to just make sure that you kind of have everything set, right? You want all of your ducks in a row and you want everything. You want the game plan going forward so that there's no stop or halting in your rehab. You kind of know exactly what's going on. And so you can deal with the problems that may or may not arise during the rehab without worrying about what's the next step. So to recap everything, 5 steps to start your flip: optimize drawing, that's step 1. Line item budget with, labor and materials, that's step 2. Having a design plan, that's step 3. Hiring your first 1 to 2 line items and doing an on-the-job interview, that's step 4. And then debriefing the results from your first experience and repeating and revising the last 2 steps, step 5. Now, is there any questions about any of the steps to start your flip? I'm assuming for you guys, Steve and Cinnamon, did you guys start your flip already?
We have not yet. We're still waiting to close.
Okay, so you guys are still waiting to close, but you guys are pretty, when is your close date?
We don't know. We're waiting for Baltimore City courts to ratify everything. So I'm thinking it's going to be this month sometime, because there was actually a note left on the door that said this house will be sold in 30 days unless there are exceptions filed. So that was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Did they say what kind of exceptions?
They did not. Not the letter. Yeah, not the letter that I saw. So I'm not sure.
Okay, but you guys, it sounds like everything's good to go. Like you guys are going to closing. This is
I think we're right there. Yeah, we're right there. We're just waiting on Baltimore City, I think. So.
Okay, gotcha. So do you guys have access to the house to kind of start any work early? Contractor work?
Yeah, so we do. We actually cleared the paths because we actually had the group came over there in September. Mm-hmm. We actually did a walkthrough of the house with the group, and then we stood outside and did a detailed line item budget. So.
Okay, so you guys have your rehab plan already in place.
Yeah, the only thing we really don't have is we don't have a drawing, just because there's so much junk in there. We can't actually get in there and, take measurements and do that kind of thing yet. So.
Okay. So are you guys waiting until you guys close and then kind of do the demolition to get the drawing in?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen pictures, but yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. I mean, if it's so bad you can't get the drawing done, I'm sure it's pretty terrible in there.
Yeah, I think myself, Mike, and Marlo are the only three people that went down to the basement. I think everybody else stayed up in the middle level. We were only in there for like 3 minutes, so
Oh,
it's
y'all were
pretty
the
bad.
troopers.
It's bad, yeah.
That's the squad.
I don't even think Shauna came in the house. That's how bad it was.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
Oh
there's
man.
probably about 700 Mountain Dew 2-liter bottles in the house, and
Oh, did they?
let's say they don't have Mountain Dew in them either.
I was about to say, oh, they got they got something else in them, I'm sure. Ah, oh man. Okay, so so you guys kind of have the line and budget in place. You're waiting to do the drawing. Do you guys have like your crew set up, or do you have like contractors you've already talked to? As kind of like your first wave of guys that you're gonna try out.
Yeah, so we actually we probably had about 20 people come through to give us estimates on the demo, clean out, tree removal, weeds in the back, and then I actually had a guy that I know that's gonna probably do a lot of the other stuff, the framing, the bathrooms, the tile, the floors, the drywall, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so
Okay.
I think we're in a good place.
Okay, got it. So you guys are pretty much
Hard money secured, is ready to go. Yeah, so we're right there. We're just waiting to close. So
awesome, man. That's great to hear. So you guys are set.
yeah,
Just
we're ready.
waiting at the starting line, waiting for them to fire the gun off. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. Cool. See, we got Marlo on the call. What's up, Marlo? I don't know if you can talk
Oh yeah.
or not.
Hey Dante. Yeah. Hey guys. How are you?
Good, man. Good. But yeah, basically that's the lesson plan for starting your flip. It's super basic. Like I said, you guys want to really spend a lot of time on the drawing and the design plan. The line item budget's important too. You want to spend a lot of time equally on all three. But yeah, what we've seen in our business is that really getting in there and making the layout and drawing as best as possible really is a factor in, getting us the most profit for our deals. And that's something we started to really incorporate into our business. I mean, we get Steve to walk through the house. We get Tanya and Mike to walk through the house multiple times. Tanya's kind of the design eye kind of person. So she's the one that's like really studying these layouts and really like bringing it. Her and Mike work together on that process. But like I said, they probably walk through houses 3 or 4 times before they have a layout that they're satisfied with. So that just is a testament to the amount of work and effort that they put in to kind of make these houses sell for multiple thousands of dollars over list. So yeah, pretty basic. Does anyone have any specific questions about their rehabs, want to share their progress, anything like that?
I wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Samara.
Oh, thanks.
Ladies.
Thank you. I was going to say, I just found out that there's a property down the street that just got listed, 2700 East Strathmore, and it's roughly the same square footage, 2,600 square feet as mine. And yeah, it's interesting when you're talking about design and layout, because inside it's like old kitchen, all this stuff is very basic. They have a pool. They have a really nice pool in the back with a wrapper, like a deck back there. But that's like honestly the only thing that's going for that house. And they listed it for $285. So
yeah. And where are you planning to list yours at?
I'm debating. I'm probably going to do probably maybe 289.9 or something like that. I mean, I want to get people fighting over it, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you brought up a good point, Samara, because you're planning to list your house at 289.9. I'm sure your house is like, dead accurate with the ARV. So your rehab, I'm assuming, is going to turn out like 10 times better than theirs. So what's probably going to happen with theirs is that it's going to sit 280. You say 285, right? Yeah, 285 is going to sit. Yours is when When do you plan to put yours on the market?
I'm pushing through like right now. It's just we're at the paint stage. I'm getting the countertops next Tuesday, so I see the end game, but I don't know, these jokers, personal problems and stuff like that. I'm just like, you guys are killing me. Like, I'm like, I don't want to make another payment on this house, but it looks like that might unfortunately happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So at this juncture, I'm trying to figure out who else I can bring in to kind of help just push this thing through, you know, to the end quickly. Like, I'm done already. Mentally, I'm like, just ready to move on to the next one, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, just family issues with them. Got to leave early, got to do this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you know, so kind of dealing with a lot of that where honestly, with all, I was calculating that and easily that going through all that drama could have eaten up 2 weeks of my project time. Like, how do you handle that with contractors? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being out, like, oh, I got to go to court, I got to do this. And I'm like, really? Like, how do you, I mean, have you guys ever faced that? Like, how do you deal with that when they're eating into your time? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So when we experienced that, like when, you know, I was working on my house or when Rashad's working on his house, that's pretty much when you get what you get when you get contractors, you know, through our funnels off of Craigslist or like Facebook and stuff like that. Facebook's a little bit better because like you can talk to people who've worked with the guys and kind of get their opinion. Not that it holds a lot of weight, but the main thing about that is just like, you just got to push through it. Like I know it sucks and it's like, you know, a process and it's mentally exhausting and draining. But the plus of it is that you'll always come out profitable as long as you're like doing the core tenets of what we say, you know, not paying guys up front for work, which I know you're not doing, and like, you know, not doing like the rookie investor mistakes, right? The rookie flipper mistakes.
Oh, I did that at the beginning. I'm better now.
Yeah. So you're gonna come out profitable at the end of the day with the deal, right? I mean, on a bad day, if there's like, let's just say like tsunami earthquake day, you'll break even, right? But I don't think you're at that point. I think you're still got some profit left in the deal, and you know things will be good. So it's really when you think about dealing with contractors, right? If you know that you're going to be doing multiple houses, which you know you are, it's really about sifting through the garbage until you find the diamonds, right? Or at least the rocks that can be refined into diamonds. So you know that some of these jokers that you work with, you're probably not going to have them on the next job, right? So now that is going to be able to introduce you on the next job to new guys who you can kind of test out and experiment with. And then once you find that one contractor with guys who's like good and like, you know, like actually does what they say, and it's just looking to make a fair wage for the work that they put in, that's going to be a guy that you can basically supply them with houses, you know, for however many years you want. It really takes one good contracting team. They can knock out about 6 or 7 houses a year for you.
Yeah.
The hard part is finding that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was really hoping that this guy was the guy, but like I said, he's got too many personal issues for me. Like, I'm just like, dude, like, I like you and stuff. He knows what he's doing and things, but I mean, I hope it gets better. But honestly, I'm just, like I said, I'm a little frustrated with that because when I think through it all, like I said, I've lost literally 2 weeks or maybe a little bit more to his personal issues of having to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, come up, something's up with the family, he's got to run out. Like, you know, so.
Yeah. And that's the thing about these guys. The right guy will not saying like, you know, your grandma died and now like,
oh yeah,
you know,
that's
stay in the
an
house,
exception.
but like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
but
right.
But the right guy is not going to let like, you know, those kinds of personal issues kind of interfere with the work he's doing because they like a stand-up professional and they like their work and stuff like that. The guys that we have in our business, you know, the only thing that has happened that like really kind of hindered things is like one of our guys got deported, right? And that's the only time he's missed work.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like Hugo gets deported and that's the only time he misses work. Like, I mean, he physically can't be there, but what I'm trying to say is like the number one thing with the contractors, and I know you know this, Samara, is the mindset, right? It's if you got a decent guy who can do work and he just needs a little help here and there, that's completely fine because you can train that guy, right? That guy's going to be able to have a learning mindset where he's learning how to operate in your business so that, one, he can make more money, but two, you can get your houses done. But if you got a guy who's kind of talented and like, you know, kind of knocking stuff out, but he has a bunch of like, you know, personal stuff going on and things like that, that's more of a mindset issue. And that's not really something you can train out of someone, right? That's something that person has to make a conscious decision to want to change, or else they're just going to keep experiencing the same results that they've experienced. So I think the thing for you, Samira, is, you know, this guy, you know, he may have seemed like the one, but I mean, now, you know, like, you know, due to like all the personal shit he's got going on, you know, it's time to find a guy who doesn't, not necessarily who doesn't have that going on, but who won't let that affect his work, you know? Because there are things where you can say, all right, well, that makes sense. And then there are some things that's like, your daughter sneezed at school and now you have to take her out because you think she got the flu. Like what does that even mean? You know? So, yeah, and that's a big thing. Going back to the lesson plan, actually, Samir, you brought up a good point. When you're looking at these guys and you're deciding who to hire, and Steven Cinnamon, this is going to be especially important for you guys, really evaluate these guys, one, based on their level of work and like whether they can do the work or not, and if they can do it in a timely manner. But two, really start to try to take a look at their mindset. Like, you know, are they getting the work done? Are they like happy to do the work and just, you know, grateful for the opportunity? Or are they more of like the, oh, this won't work kind of contractor? Oh, you need this, I need this to happen, like the make excuses kind of contractor. And that's the kind of guy you want to like run away from, right? You don't want to associate with that kind of contractor. You guys want to find contractors that are healthy in the mind and like have a good mindset about things. They're willing to work. If they make some mistakes, that's okay. As long as it's not like, you know, rookie mistakes. But if they make some mistakes or whatever, that's cool, because now you have the opportunity to train them, and now they're grateful to you for, you know, helping them out and teaching them, you know, a little bit more about the business and working in your company. But yeah, no, that was a really good point you brought up, Samira. Definitely.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think you'll be fine. You guys are at painting now, so, you know, that means you're past rough ends.
Oh yeah, definitely past rough ends. So hopefully the electrician and the plumber will be here the end of next week, I think.
Okay, for their finals. Got it.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny because like when you're on the tail end of things, you're just anticipating it being done. And it feels like the slowest part of the rehab. It's like 10% left. Oh my God, why is it taking so long?
Right, exactly. I'm like, I need 20 dudes up in here to just knock it out already because I'm done.
That's awesome. So you know which house you're going to start next after you get this one on the market?
I just bought a row home actually. So I feel like maybe the timing is right because I was debating on whether I was going to wholesale it off or not. But this one, I think hopefully, I mean, I got the contract, so I'm thinking I might just keep it and just turn it over. Hopefully it's in fairly good condition. So maybe in 2 or 3 months I can sell it. Like now that it's less square footage than this one, it's like 1,400. Right. So, you know, I'm dealing with 2,600 here. So that one seems like a piece of cake now.
Yeah. And I'm guessing it's probably like a $30,000-$40,000 rehab if it's a row home. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So this will be a lot less work too. That'll be
right.
Nice factor in it. Okay.
Yeah. Only issues right now with it is just there's a hole in the roof there's a hole in the top level that anyway, water's, you know, just a roof issue, and then finishing the basement, it's unfinished. So those are the two major things, but everything else is drywall, everything is perfect.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm really hoping to just get in and get out of that one.
And there's no evidence of mold in the house from the hole in the roof or anything?
No, not yet.
Awesome.
So
sounds like a sweet deal to me.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see, because you never know.
Yeah, you open up that wall and then.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
Okay, awesome. So you
Mhm.
got another project lined up, but you just got to knock this one out. That
Yeah,
last 10%, right?
as slow as molasses for
Mm,
sure. Yeah.
mm. It's
Hmm.
all good though.
Yeah.
Marlo, what'd you have going on?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on my flip as well.
Okay.
I was able to complete demo, and then the rough-in. I need to put in like a whole HVAC system in there with the ductwork. So I got the ductwork done, the rough-in so far. I was wondering because it needs new plumbing. Like we demoed the bathroom upstairs, and then we're looking to create a bathroom in the basement. So that needs a whole new set of plumbing work. And then we're looking to move like I had Tanya help me out with the design
Okay,
plan, like
good.
the layout, and then we're actually looking to move like the kitchen was like in the back part of the first level. It's like we're making that like a dining room now. We're actually moving a kitchen into like the existing like dining room. So we got to move like the plumbing there. So I was wondering if I should get started on the plumbing work as well, get that rough in since the HVAC rough in is done, or look to complete the whole HVAC first before getting started on plumbing.
As long as you have your ducts run, then you should be
Okay.
good to go on the plumbing and I'm assuming the electric, you probably did that already or it's coming
Uh,
up as well.
yeah, I'm looking to get the electrician in there as well. I mean, not everything is up to code yet. I mean, we have to start to put in some outlets because my lenders are requiring us to pull permits on this one.
Your
Um,
lender's requiring you to pull permits?
yeah, before I could get the draws, he's pretty much stating in the contracts. And
Oh,
initially, I wasn't looking to pull permits on it, but then he gave me a call before I even started like the HVAC work and saying that you want to see permits um, before I can get a draw. So
yeah.
I'm
So
kind of going through
that's,
that process right now.
yeah, that's a little dicey because like now you have to get permits in order to get your draws. It's not like you get permits if you get a stop work order. You kind of have to get it to move the rehab forward. So, I mean, what I would say, Marlo, is like usually what happens in the rehab is that you'll get your HVAC done first.
Okay.
Because the HVAC guy is pretty much going to make like, all of the vents and like duct work he needs to do. And then the electrician and plumber kind of run their stuff off of what the HVAC guy's done already. So if you have your ducts running stuff and it's up to code and everything's good, then I would say it'd be a good time to kind of get the electric and the plumbing in because not much is going to change from there. It only becomes
Okay.
an issue when the electrician kind of runs his wires first, and then the HVAC guy has to cut through the electrician wires to run his ducts.
Gotcha.
Usually they'll follow the HVAC guys like duct work and, kind of do what they need to do.
Okay. Cool. So get started on the plumbing and electric work as well.
Yeah, as long as the ducts are
Okay.
run and then everything's up to code. Now, you said they didn't put the units in yet, right?
No, not yet. We're looking to
Okay.
put in like a furnace tomorrow, I think. But
Okay, so he's putting in
I
the
think,
furnace tomorrow, and he's done
Yeah.
all the duct work. Like he's made all of his duct work and stuff good.
yeah, the ductwork looks pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, man, I think you're good to go then. As long as he's finished like cutting holes in the walls and kind of running things he needs to run throughout the house, you should be fine.
And then I actually wanted to run like because this company that's doing like the HVAC, they also do plumbing work as well. I mean, they put together a scope for me. I sent that scope to Mike. I might have to touch base with him because it is like over my budget. I don't think my initial budget really took into consideration. I think like moving the kitchen plumbing from the back end of the like house into like sort of like the living area.
Oh, right.
So I guess I got to touch base with Mike on that.
Yeah, because you got
Yeah.
Tanya to help you with your design, so she
Right.
probably move some things around to kind of make it, more optimal.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
definitely going to change the budget. Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
if you actually send, do you have like a PDF of it, of the invoice?
Yeah, I sent it to Mike, like the Mickey G at I think Gmail.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. What I'll do is I'll text him and let him know to take a look at it, to kind of look over and see if if it looks good or not, and then let you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, man.
All right.
That's awesome though. Got 3 rehabs in the works. Nice. Very nice, guys.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Monte.
Yeah, no problem, Marlo. All right. Do we have any other questions? Going once. Going twice. Okay. Cool. I guess, we got about 40 minutes in. Cool. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to cover. Does anyone have any questions about anything? So I know Marlo, you're in the midst of your flip. Samira, you're kind of finishing things up. Steven, Sin, you guys are about to start. Awesome. I see we have. Is that Glory? Can't tell. Yep.
Yes, this is Glory.
Hey, Glory, how are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys are in the midst of your flips. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Glory, do you have any questions? Because we went over the lesson plan about starting your flip and stuff like that. That's in the beginning of the call. Yeah, do you have anything you want to ask?
Not particularly. I'm just, struggling with the contractors, but no questions per se.
Yeah, same boat as Samira, actually. What I was telling Samira is, the contractors, when you do your first few flips, they are a little rough, but you guys are pretty much sorting through the dirt to find the diamond. And the more dirt you sort through, the closer you are to finding that diamond. So just hang in there, Don't break the core tenets of what we talk about. Don't pay these guys up front, no deposits, nothing like that. And you guys should be pretty good.
Yeah, but most of the time, they do not want to start anything without deposit, and you just keep going on and on and on and on. I really don't know how that works. Like, I don't know. It's just very difficult for them.
Yeah, it's funny because
Like they don't know me yet. We don't have a relationship yet, so they are very skeptical.
Yeah, and those guys will think like that's the proper way to run business as a contractor. And in fact, I mean, to some degree, it kind of is, right? Like if you want to be a contractor that kind of scammy and rips people off, oh yeah, you should be asking for deposits all day. But to kind of protect ourselves as the investor, the closest we've ever gotten to giving someone a deposit is giving someone a same day paycheck. So one of the electricians that we worked with was like adamant about not starting work without some sort of deposit, right? He's like, no, I can't do the work without a deposit. Like I need at least $300. And this was a relatively small job he was doing. So we were like, all right, well, this guy seems like he knows what he's doing, but he's not starting without a deposit. So we kind of met him in the middle and said, all right, well, how about this? You do your first day of work, you do $500 worth of work, and we'll bring a check out to you that same day. And that action was able to kind of establish the trust that we as the investor will pay him when the work's done. But it also established the trust that he, as a contractor, wasn't going to rip us off. So, yeah, these guys that get crazy about like the deposits and stuff, if they're truly that adamant about the deposit and they absolutely will not start work, even when it's a completely fair situation, like them doing the work and then getting a check the same day, that's probably not the contract that you want to work with, right? I would say that the best scenario for a contractor that doesn't want to start work is to bring them out the same day check. Bring it out to them at the end of the day once they've, done what they needed to do for the day. Bring them out a check for the amount of work that they've done. But I mean, like we always say, under no circumstances should there ever be a deposit given out to a contractor before they start work.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's a good way to kind of not necessarily bargain, but to kind of put things into perspective, right? You're like, you as the investor, we don't have a relationship. That's true. So I want to protect myself, but at the same time, I want to be fair to you, the contractor, for the work that you do. So how about a same day paycheck? That way, I'm not going to rip you off, and I'm going to pay you for the amount of work that you do for the day. You do the work, you get paid. Simple as that.
Yeah.
You don't want to set that as an expectation going forth, because then you'll be running out there 14 dimes a day, dropping checks off. But just for the first check, right? You could kind of make a compromise and say, all right, I'll pay you the same day, but usually I pay on Fridays or whatever day works for you. Whatever day is your payday out to your guys. Awesome. Anyone else? Does anyone have any questions they want me to send to Mike? Okay. Awesome. So I guess if everyone's good, we can wrap things up a little bit early today. Like I said, guys, just stick in there. You guys are all in the midst of your rehabs. So this is kind of where you step into the fire a little bit, right? This is where everything that you've learned as far as, managing contractors, getting the work done on budget and on time. This is where it all comes to the test. And I'm sure all of you guys will be fine. I mean, Samira, you're kind of experiencing the battle scars a little bit, but it's good battle scars, right? It's like now I'm resilient to this, and now like for the next rehab, I'm not taking no shit. But yeah, you guys will all be fine. And like I said, yeah, look, there you go.
I'm not having it next one. They don't know who they came across.
Yep, because you done learned now. You know what's going
Lord.
on.
And it just, oh my gosh, it just makes me think of my mama. And I'm like, oh Lord, I don't want to channel her, but I might have to do some of that.
Yeah.
Because we are two different personalities. You know that. You met her.
Yeah. Oh no, I know how your mom gets down. She is
She was a spitfire. She was just here. I took her. She was here for a few days.
Oh yeah, what'd she say?
I made her do the yard work.
Oh really?
And clean out the utility room downstairs. So
it seemed like your mom would be down to do the work. Like she's like, I want to get in the trenches.
Oh yeah, she did good. She did very well. It looks really nice. So yeah, she was like, I had my workout for the week. This is hard. I'm like,
oh
yeah. So yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, nah, we hear you.
So.
But yeah, awesome. If that's it, then we can wrap up for the week, guys. Mike's going to be hosting another call for you guys tomorrow as sort of a makeup. We didn't want to, completely drop this one, so I jumped in to host it. But Mike's going to host a makeup call for you guys since he couldn't make it on this one. Look out for it sometime tomorrow. We'll send a text out to you guys, and he'll be back on.
That's if he's not under the influence of drugs from his back problem.
He kind of talked about it like, yeah, man, I'm going to bounce back. Like, I feel my back out, but I should be good by tomorrow. But I'm like, when you throw your back out, I don't know if you just bounce back like that. Like,
You're going to be high on the call.
Yeah. It should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be. All right. Well, thank you.
No problem. If that's it, guys, then we'll wrap up here.
All right.
Cool. You guys have a good week, and
me too.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
See you guys. Bye.